Hi everyone, I see you have some rest. So I'm gonna call up here, since Sophie's not gonna be able to join us up until later, to Stanis and Kasia, please. You can come here. We're gonna make an exercise that we've been trying to do today, only with the three, but we'll try to do with the two. Can I get this chair, please? Just for. So if you need the adapter. Yes. You have the adapter for the computer? And the other computer for him. You can.
Maybe you know. So, is there a deadline when you are, for example,
Yes.
a refugee?
Oh, no. I don't.
If you enter a different country?
A deadline.
Yes. Like, for example, you license for 6 months. And then.
Some countries have that, but they don't know what to do later.
Exactly. Okay.
Because in Africa they don't provide a certificate of nationalization, so they don't know where to send you back. It's like they see you.
But what country do you think you talk about Africa? In Africa, you don't get any. Yeah, this is a good topic. I should probably.
No. I mean, it's normal. Okay. So remember that I'm gonna try to picture this, okay? For you to start this exercise. So we're trying to have a document that is the advocacy plan, that is trying to convey your ideas and the ideas that you represent from, like the experts that we heard yesterday and everything, to some documents at the UN related to those topics. So it'll be, in this case, protection of migrants and participation of older persons, right? And these are the UN documents. And you've been discussing here for 2 days.
Sorry, Alex.
Yes.
We are saying we should hear in 5 to 10 minutes.
Perfect. Well, we already started. So these two, and even the youth transitions, for example, will be discussed, enriched, changed, debated on November every year. Okay? And they have the same names. So now, you want November 2024 to be the same as a country. I mean, Poland challenges should be contained here. Malaysia challenges should be contained here. South Africa challenges should be contained here. Okay, for example. But now we have an additional variable. That is that in October 2025, we're having the second World Social Summit. And up until now, we have had these topics, more or less. You've seen it, you heard what is the World Social Summit, what is it about, what was it about in the first one in 1995. So this day, the Pandora box is gonna be open again. And it's gonna be kind of an explosion of many things even new. You can say, I want to be ready to add more challenges here. So, for example, there's one thing coming up, and this is the new thing that I'm telling Stanis and Kasia here. There's one kind of rumor, and it's already a resolution, it's already documented at the UN, that is called the resolution on care. Who cares for who pays for the care? Is the care affordable? And it directly relates to these three. Migrants mostly are taking care of the elderly in their new countries. Youth are being either taken care by their families for longer or having to take care for their elderly. And older persons are either being taken care of or not being able to afford care in their longer lives. So this is one thing that is coming up to this new explosion. Care. And I would say that I will ask you now as this exercise, what else do you think it might be coming here after what you have discussed in these three topics? 1, 2, 3. Care definitely makes it up. And if there are other topics that might come up for social development.
But it involves all three of them.
Yeah, maybe it's AI. Maybe is, I don't know, well, this is new technology. Maybe it's climate change. So for your last thing, I mean, this is already going. I mean, it's so impressive that 2025 is only 1 year away. So all the embassies, all the national capital desks of the UN, they know the place and everything, but they're preparing for this because this box is going to be open. Is that good or bad? Up until now, the first one has been really beneficial because it's only pretty, I would say, naive or conservative social integration, youth transitions, youth integration, older persons, poverty reduction. But now what's coming here? And as a country, as a facilitator, you might have to foresight what you don't want to be discussed.
The topics that were presented in 1995 are going to be also presented in 2025, but at the top of like new topics that will be.
We don't know.
You don't know? Okay, okay.
Yeah, I mean, yes. Yes, and the new topics we don't know. This is a hint. And there's maybe another one that it came back to my mind, but it might be care, older persons, youth and migration, financial development, education. Education is the other one, and the other one will come up. So now they're both are gonna present the final documents on the first two topics that we discussed yesterday. And they have direct connotations with care, for example. So let's see what new ideas and what new solutions you have. So I'm gonna leave you like, 10 minutes. Please focus on the two advocacy plans that you discussed yesterday. Please do it on your own, on your computers, with your editing privileges. Please remember putting suggestion for them to be able to know who added that. And we can have, that would be, imagine, that contribution of your for 2025, when this discussion is open back again. Clear? Questions? I see skeptic faces. Yeah.
Where we should put it, like
So please go to the website, the family perspective. You know that website. .org, and then you'll find the website of the workshop. I wish I can go. Oh, can you go to the right? Here. Who's that computer from? Oh, Cassia, can you go to the right? To the. And you scroll. Can you scroll down? Oh, can you click on it? So somebody was asking about the pictures. Can you scroll down, please? Oh, the picture should be here. Oh, here are the gallery. You have all the pictures here. Can you keep scrolling down, please? Scroll down. Here, on the program of today. Here you have the links to the plans of today. The one that you were working on yesterday. And these are the ones that you have access to. I think one person doesn't have access yet. So I'm going to ask her to write down. So 10, 15 minutes. So think of these new coming up ideas. Yeah. I'm going to leave the mic here for you to intervene here. So this is another backstory. Besides care and AI, you can also have decent jobs, especially because within the discussions for October 2025, some member states, especially in developing countries, didn't want to include ILO into the discussion, especially because ILO had some things on the 5 R's: reduction, redistribute, recognize, all the unpaid care at home of women, and decent jobs, because many are really informal. They don't have union coverage, they don't have contracts. The only thing they have is just informality in jobs. So that definitely goes to full employment. ILO, the International Labor Organization, sorry. And then fertility, how would that affect?
Maybe also some gender equality.
No. Yes?
But for example, salary.
Oh. Okay, so this is part of the gender equality, is part of decent jobs also.
Maybe. They all related, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The ones who care the most are women. So.
Co teraz się dzieje?
Wypracowujemy final draft of this.
Czyli łączymy wszystkie tematy?
Nie? Tylko twój, żeby był finalny.
Pytanie
Ty
właśnie,
finalizujesz
czy...
swój, żeby był finalny.
W sensie ja mam to robić teraz?
Tak.
Ale jeszcze nie przegadałam z
No, to jest problem.
Dlatego trzeba spytać się, czy będzie w ogóle.
No, to zapytaj się. So, we have a question.
Questions.
Is Sophia's topic will be spoken about, or can we like brainstorm her topic too, or do we have time for this? Like,
Yeah, because like yesterday we didn't have time for my topic.
I know. So we're gonna first do this.
Okay,
then
so I
yours
just need to wait.
with both what we have accomplished with them.
Yes, that's what I thought of. Okay, so at the end.
Or if you prefer, we can start with yours.
Now?
But they're already working on these too.
Okay, so...
So and then we do it with yours.
Okay, so when will be my turn?
After the break.
Okay, so because it's 11, we have still 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I need to be sure that we're gonna make it into this topic.
Oh yeah.
So maybe let's do it first. I don't know.
Okay.
What
Do
think?
you agree, guys?
yes.
No problem.
Because maybe it's better
Okay,
to gather some more inputs into this topic and then
But
discuss
then
the
we
others.
need some time for them to read it, right? Because have you?
Yeah, but it's very short. I will
probably-
present it. Yeah, I upload it, but like it just business like little nuggets, very very short.
Okay.
So I just
So
need
I'm
to
gonna allow you
because
to
my
introduce
idea,
it.
Yeah, because my idea was just to discuss it.
Okay. Let's give them 3 more minutes
Mhm.
and then start.
Okay.
But it's interesting because yours is going to be enriched by theirs and this, so it's great.
Okay.
And when we finish yours, we can have a head start with them, with you 3.
We
Yeah.
have. Mhm. Dobra.
So a small change of plans. We're gonna then proceed with Sofia on the youth, and then we're gonna do all 3. But you're still working on the 2 first ones, and that's okay because that's gonna give us a head start after Sofia's youth integration advocacy plan. So let's have 3 more minutes, and we start with Sofia's. You already have access, and you already have. Who doesn't have? Maybe you have to provide us your email. And Rocío can actually add you because she's an editor.
uploaded in the mail.
Who's anonymous?
No.
6 minutes.
Yours, have you seen the other one?
Oh, here?
Go back to the website. Here.
Where?
Yeah, here.
Here? Okay.
Scroll down, please. Scroll down. How can you refresh it?
Mm-hmm.
Here, can you put, for example, not yours, older persons, migrants, any of those, yeah, migrants.
Migrants?
Yeah, that's it. So just there. So all this is
Nie wiem, bo nie piszą jako komentarze, tylko piszą w draft, w tym pliku, co nie jest ok. To wszystko z lewa. Pięć. Okay, data collection. A czemu tam się... Data collection and evaluation.
Is it working? This one's working?
all of them, yeah.
Okay, cool. Can I start now?
Yes.
Okay, but can I present? Yeah, I can do it through USB-C, but maybe. Can I do it through the HDMI?
Yes, the direct one, right?
Yeah.
You have that option.
It'd be better.
So I think
You can go back, yeah,
Yeah.
and then come back.
Yes?
5 minutes.
Chcę tutaj usiąść?
Coś jest nie tak z tym portem. Coś jest nie tak.
On mi zawsze działa w domu, więc nie wiem. Mam jeszcze służbowy laptop, mogę wziąć. Okay. Okay, so everybody's ready? Everybody's ready for the integration? Okay, so we're gonna start. From advocacy plan about it, and what we have in here, we have measurable objectives. We have key messages, communication activities to deliver key messages, necessary resources, timeline, and how can we evaluate if that happened. Okay, so I gather here like very short nuggets, like what was my thought about it. So what I did, I had two ideas, and you can agree, you can disagree, you can add something. So my first one would be, so what we need is that we need more cooperation between schools and employers. And what is wrong, what is not going right, it's that it's really hard for students to get their first job. So employers could participate in school subject, making getting first job easier, just easier, right? Because it is like this. For example, in Sweden, I had the experience to really feel that it's really easier on Swedish market to go into the when you're young. And then the third part, so what we can do with it, so we can think of establishing program, helping students get their first job, and we will also show benefits both for schools and employers, because there are benefits for both of them. Then necessary resources. So of course money, we can't go without it. For people who will organize the program, we want it to be well prepared. So that's why I do it here. And then support in leading program, and also courses for teachers, because they're gonna be the one who will guide the students in this subjects. Timeline. Speaking of timeline, we will have the central government who will prepare the program. And then the preparation time will be a year and ongoing, because we want to have it constant. We want to find firms constantly. And then at the end, the most important, how can we evaluate whether we have reached what we wanted? So we're gonna use the quantitative survey, and we're gonna try to answer the question, how many students had their first job, because of the program, because of this cooperation that we here recommend. So that's my first idea, and we can now talk about it. What do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Maybe you want to add anything. So now it's time for discussion. So what do you think? Because maybe I can also give some examples. So when I was studying in Sweden, we had a subject called project development, and we had a cooperation with a lot of startups from Sweden, but not only. And we had a chance to work and to help the firms with real products, right? So, and also after it, if they liked what we did, they could give us a job. And a lot of people, not only Swedish, but some international as well, they got the job. And that was something that I was really surprised, because I didn't experience that in Poland. So I thought, okay, that's a good idea to have, and maybe if they did it, maybe we also can do it. So so that's it. What do you think?
Also, I think like I don't know if it's working, but the cooperation not only between student and job employers and all of that, but also about to actually have this kind of access with another another students who actually get this. But it's similar to actually this immigrant situation, to have this kind of people who can actually share their thoughts, their ups and downs, their career path with us, and give us some advice how to actually, for example, prepare, what certification we need, what skills are actually like required in this particular job that we want. Because it's very difficult to actually, when we study, we learn this kind of more of hard skills, not soft skills, for example, and maybe some like guidance might be helpful here, like this kind of cooperation between not employers, but maybe workers that work in this kind of company and can actually help us. For example, in Warsaw School of Economics, there are a lot of programs that actually connect a student with a worker in a particular company, and they guide them and discuss their career path. So maybe to actually broaden this concept. I don't know, what are your thoughts about it, and maybe some additions?
Okay, thanks for sharing. We can, do you want to add it to the document, straight to the document? Because I'm wondering, because were you thinking more of the mentoring program, or how would it work, like, you know, in practice?
I was thinking actually about like mentoring.
Sorry, Sasha, you need to speak to a microphone.
Yeah. Okay, sure.
Either one or another.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so mentoring program you were saying, or?
Mentoring program, or
Mm-hmm.
like kind of sharing of experience, like because we have like a LinkedIn is one way
Mm-hmm.
to actually share your job opportunities and all of that, but to actually share like this kind of more deep knowledge, what is like behind the curtain maybe, and what we should be prepared for to actually acquire a job of our dreams. So to actually like broaden this kind of concept and this kind of cooperation between students, workers, and this kind of society.
So to make labor market closer to students. Is it true?
Yes, actually I've written it underneath these measurable objectives. So, oh yes, and here is like a coordinated platform. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, this one, okay.
Oh yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, very good idea. Thank you. Thank you for that. Okay, anybody else?
Yes, I want to add something. Of course, cooperation between universities and potential employers, creating more job opportunities for youth is very important, but we also need to remember how role of government is important, especially when it comes to law. We still, like in Poland, we have this problem that like young graduates usually receive rubbish contract, it's called in Poland, which is not employment contract, so your rights are not protected. So we should also highlight the importance of the law itself. And the other thing that I think it should be changed, and that makes more difficult for young people and young graduates. It's our unpaid traineeship, which are creating opportunities for more for people with bad worse socioeconomic background. It's impossible to get dream internship if it's unpaid, yeah, because they need to think about basic needs. They cannot afford to devote 6 month time to do such internship. So our government should create equal opportunities for all youth.
So,
Like,
can we say that
more sustainable law, labor law. I would say it's maybe a good.
can we say that what we need, because that's our first point, that we need to improve the law and change it towards. What do you propose? Change it towards
More sustainable, more equal. To create more equal opportunities. I saw that someone write down we need more education about labor law. I think it's also really important. So maybe
Very
government should make some campaigns, educational campaigns on our rights, because when someone studies law, it's more obvious how to navigate within this market, but it's not always a rule. But for people who have different background, it might be even more difficult to understand how, and even when they read the contract, then it's like magic.
Yeah, you're right, and also to know your rights, because some people, they just don't know it, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So education always on top. Thank you so much. Okay.
So basic.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Maybe somebody would listen to me. I think that young people need some free legal advisory. It is too expensive for young people who are unable to earn some money only to get a lawyer or legal support if they get into a trouble. And this system of duty hours for lawyers is also not effective when it comes to serious problems with the youth. And we also need some legal clinics for young people that don't only educate people but only help with employment, with labor law, or getting to manage all the affairs in the universities. Always online, which doesn't require so much cost for finding special venues, booking rooms, or engaging some stakeholders for holding, but in a way it would engage any one of the able stakeholders and interested lawyers, or even young lawyers who still finish their traineeships and are able to practice. Because this would be difficult for newcomers to install themselves in the university and get in a clue with the most regulatory background here. So it's very difficult for these young migrants and the young students who came for the first time in the university in a different country and don't know what the regulations are.
Okay, so what do you propose? Do you propose that we need some more of a free support, or what is your thought? What can we write in here? In the first point, what we need.
Maybe some free support, free legal clinic for youth that it exists in many universities for youth and poor, not people in distress. and improving this system and internal regulations.
Okay, thank you. I've noted it down. Anybody else? Or we're going to the next point? Okay, I can propose what's my second idea. So my second idea is that we need better adjustment between student and a job. And what do I mean here? What is wrong? What's not right here? So students are not happy with their career choices very often, unfortunately, causing frequent changes and starting all over again with their work. So students should be better prepared for the labor market. And how can we do it? Because the students' personality qualities should be just more suitable for the job position. And what can we do? Maybe just, an idea, right? So more of the psychological tests in schools and trips to the workplaces to learn about it and see if that's the best fit for me, right? So if they can experience that, they can feel if that's what they want to do, if that's what they want to do for a living. Because I'm speaking from my experience. I had the opportunity to really see that, and it was really meaningful for me because I had a chance to decide very early on that, for example, something is not for me. And I think that it's really crucial just to know it sooner, not to waste so much time. So that's my second idea. And of course, going to the details, resources, trained psychologists in school, dedicated people in the companies to coordinate this entrepreneurship. Yes, and I was thinking about doing it during entire high school. Why? Because we want to give a lot of time to think and try again, and finally decide, what's best for us. And most important thing, so how can we measure if our objective, if we have reached it? So we can do a qualitative survey this time, not quantitative, but qualitative, and we can ask them how are students content in what they do. Because motivation comes with happiness, so I think that's really important. So that was my two ideas, but now the floor is yours, and if you want to add anything, agree, disagree, you're very welcome.
So that's a very good idea, and actually it comes to my mind now that we can actually introduce some kind of fund or make the government give more money for example, student-led projects, because student society, but also high school students have very potential when it comes to creating some events, some, for example, Model United Nations. There is this kind of willingness to be active and to introduce something and have this kind of influence on what's going on around us. Mm-hmm. And maybe if the government would actually help financially in this kind of sphere and encourage high school students, university students to actually create this kind of projects that might be actually helpful for climate change, trying to address the key issues. It's also very important. And while they are doing this kind of project, mm-hmm. then they can actually find out what they are good at, what they want to do for living. Mm-hmm. And also it's this kind of information might guide them in choosing their career path and mm-hmm. their particular job, and how we can measure it, how many people are like having these jobs. So it's like this kind of basic measurement, but and actually satisfaction levels in the job market.
Okay. Okay. So in a nutshell, what would you say?
Student-led projects.
Sorry.
Student-led projects.
Talent?
Led student.
What is student?
Student.
Okay, students. Okay, sorry.
Student-led projects. So, encouraging governments of member states to actually give more financial support to these kind of initiatives that are going from younger generation.
I think we missed a really important issue is that, of course, the same as with migrants, we have different groups. And we need to highlight that certain person, especially person with disabilities or neurodivergent people, they have more needs and sometimes they need more support. So maybe government should play this vital role in helping them to get a job, maybe even be supported financially for a potential employer to be more willing to hire such person.
Okay. Can we somehow, do you think can we somehow add it to the first point, to the yellow one? Can we add, for example, something like with government help, financial help, for example? What do you think? So the cooperation between employer and between universities, but with governmental
support,
financial help.
yes.
What do you think? Do you think it makes sense?
Yeah, I think it makes sense, and it works even like that in Poland. You can see in local authorities that people with disabilities are hired, and it's beneficial for both employer and person with disability because they face many difficulties, sometimes prejudice. So of course it's even more difficult for such person to get a job, to be integrated in the society and be more independent. Yes. So I think it's crucial that we should mention it in the advocacy plans to respect human rights of all people.
Okay. Okay, just respect it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Anybody else maybe? Okay.
Okay, also, I was thinking about that in schools, education is given in a really conventional way. The conventional way of giving education is really theoretical and rather than practical. So I think that the European students find it more difficult to find jobs because of this, because they miss like a practical way, and another young people of another countries that have a really practical way of thinking, of learning, it's easier for them to fit in the jobs than us.
Exactly.
So I would say like to make a reconstruction of the educational system about, like, for example, educating in soft skills, managing in team work, rather than study theoretical, that we are gonna forget it, and it doesn't have like a good I don't know.
Doesn't it very similar to the one that I've mentioned about more cooperation between schools and employers? I meant in that point, you know, that the practical, the business point of view will be included in the curriculum, right? Because that's I think what you're talking about. So I think we agree
And
here.
also a collaboration between them, like it would be good for schools and for firms to go together to meet or to talk about this, saying what is necessary to think from schools, because there are some things from schools that we have to learn, that we must learn about it, and they're not necessary in jobs.
Exactly.
But I think a good communication between them could be really good.
Okay, so can we say that we want to improve curriculum in schools to be better, to be somehow...
To provide the necessary education.
To provide... What did you say? Sorry?
The necessary education.
Necessary.
Yes. Like not too much, but the necessary to learn, to have knowledge, but also to know how to work and to go to the future.
So in other words, what is needed, right?
Yes.
What would we need after
Yes.
it?
Yes, like I
Once
think
we
that
finish.
we are not prepared for the future. Like we are prepared to know and to study, but not for to handle in works.
Exactly. So for the so to be prepared for the future. Very nice. Thank you. Okay, I saw your hand.
Well, I just want to say that I like the idea to invoke better cooperation between schools and employees, but employers. But at the same time, when it comes about higher education, right now we got a problem. At least in Poland, in my opinion, we got a problem that high education is too much, relying too much on the employees' needs. Like it's not providing their basic goal, which was to create science. And like I like the cooperation between these two, but the employers shouldn't be the only one perspective that we should include.
Okay. Okay. Thanks for that remark.
Yep.
Okay. I will write it down.
Actually, we can introduce extra lessons to acquire practical skills, because to actually don't lose on this knowledge that is needed and this thought-provoking process, but also to have this kind of finance, law, and these kind of basic concepts about how to actually live in a society and acquire a decent job. For high school students, and also like primary schools, I think, to actually not just focus on these knowledge concepts, but these hard skills, but also these kind of practical, maybe more soft skills to acquire them.
Yeah, I think we have it here, education in soft skills.
Oh, yes.
Right? That's what you meant?
But maybe extra classes in high schools.
Okay, so
or primary
extra classes, you mean in high school?
in high school for practical skills.
Maybe more interactive classes rather than
Yes.
lecturers.
Okay. Okay. More of the
I write it down in the text, but I propose some model of classes that are not exactly classes. It is down.
Where is it?
Down in some comments.
Okay, in comments section. Wait, I can find it. Wait, I have only one comment here.
It's in 3.
Oh, in the third point?
Yeah.
Where is it exactly? I cannot see it.
Wait. Because I'm seeing it. Yeah.
Maybe you have different document.
Wait. What about now?
Still nothing.
Okay, because my laptop disconnected. So never mind. I'm passing microphone. I will back to this.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, I just wanted to say, like, to finish with you that I like what you said, and also to add that, for example, at least in Spain, there is an excess of demand of some jobs that don't need so much demand, and there is an excess of demand in jobs that a student doesn't demand. Have I explained good?
Yeah, I get your point, but what can we do with it? What do you propose?
What we are talking about, there should be a collaboration between universities, educational programs of university and schools, and between companies. What they need, what skills they need, because sometimes there is like a lack of correspondence between the people who has learned some things and between the thing that they need and on the contrary. So I think we should talk, like just start a dialogue about what we need in a society, what kind of people we need, what skills do we need, and etc.
So basically universities just should follow the market, right?
Not follow the market, I wouldn't say that. I think that what I said before, that there are some things that we must learn independently if the firms needed them, you know? But organizations must talk with universities about what they need, how is the market, how is their demand, what do they need. But also universities, what do they offer, you know? So there should be a communication so both are prepared for when the market starts again working.
Okay, unis and markets. Thank you very much for that. Casa.
So first of all, I think that the idea of having and putting advisors in place in universities is a great idea. So each department would have like one advisor, and the advisor would be trained maybe by the governmental programs, would be trained about like social responsibility, what it means to give something and have a mission in life, and how to solve problems. What kind of problems would you like to solve, by like asking questions to students that they just try to figure out the world. So my experience was that at the beginning of college, like I had a great advisor that asked all these questions, and I think that this is something we need also in Poland, but they need to be trained first to ask these good questions. So that's the first thing, because this can be like program from the government. Then another thing, I think that many people do not go into teaching positions or professor positions because they don't get enough money. So increasing the salaries, because I know a lot of great people, great entrepreneurs that would like to share the knowledge, but the problem is the money. Especially here in Poland, I've noticed that. So I feel like this is one of the problem.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Okay, so my comment is added.
Okay, finally, thank you. Okay, so here.
So this is like a clear proposition for this soft and hard skill at the same development. And also I would like to say about one example, my high school. And this is the example of the cooperation between universities and high school.
Okay.
So we got, like my class got some extra classes connected with the local academia and the Jagiellonian University at the same time, and they made some like extra program for us, like something that they were usually talking about chemistry and science because it was a chemistry class, but this was like extra added to the normal standard program.
Sure, and how did you find it?
Like it was.
Did you like it? Like, did you find it useful?
I switched the class for the humanistic science,
Okay.
but the people who stay in the class really like it.
Okay, so good feedback.
Yeah. And about this solution, I'm not sure is it that clear, but my proposition is to make a new subject, but it will not be a subject, it will not be a class. It is like a practical exercise for living in the society, and the idea of it is that students will have to make some kind of society activity, like some kind of, maybe not one event, but permanent program for the problem that they will like highlight at the beginning of their school year or something like this.
Okay, so so what do you propose? Do you propose, for example, like a 3 days workshop before starting a university, or
No,
like
it's
during the school year?
I write it thinking about the high school students.
Okay.
And it should be but it also can be implemented on the lower levels of education, but with the proportion, of course. But I think it should be like the education program should reserve some time, not only for theoretical classes that are in class, but also classes when we are going out and really making something, because there is no point, like it is super difficult, because I saw in this document that someone proposed to make psychological tests so people can see what skills they have, or some advisors that will tell people what some skills they have.
Guide
but
them.
Why not creating opportunity to find out in real life what skills we have?
Yeah, sure. But don't you think that you need to start from knowing yourself very, very well to, start a job?
No,
Of course, get to know it in practice. You're right.
Yeah, I think that putting people, of course, in some kind of situation that where they have to find out solution for something, and giving them tools to do is enough.
Sure.
Especially from the psychology student perspective, I find it really difficult to diagnose what skills young people have, because they're still developing it. So
Yeah, thank you for that. But also one remark from my side: you won't have time in your life to try everything, right? So that's why you need some guidance to just, make it a bit smaller, the path that you can choose from. But thank you, thanks a lot.
Actually, what we are talking about here is already happening in some countries. For example, France introduced a program, Ticket for Change.
Ticket for Change.
Yes.
Okay, I've never heard.
And it's actually a great opportunity for students to acquire necessary skills and their entrepreneurial abilities. And they create during several weeks. They are encouraged to know themselves first, to actually create this kind of integration, also cooperation with others. And this program is actually online. It's only in French, but there are lessons that actually guide you through this process.
Very
so
nice.
maybe governments can create this kind of platform in their own languages, in their own countries, to make sure that their citizens, their society also gets the benefits of it, and
Very nice.
And actually there were a lot of positive effects of it on young generation. It was in 2014, this first edition, and it was about combining actually economic profit with a social change. So students were actually creating programs and small enterprises, small initiatives, to actually not only gain some profit, but also address these key issues that society is encountering as we speak.
Okay.
So I
They
think
were
that
just answering the problem, right?
Yes.
So
And
they had a real problem, and they wanted to somehow solve it, right?
they were actually encouraged to find it, find
Oh,
their
to find
own,
this-
their
to
own
find the
mission,
problems.
their own mission in life, and to link it to their economic, the career, and actually to combine this kind of and also some kind of guidance, because they were guided. Professionals were guiding them through this journey of discovering first themselves, their mission, and then what they can actually do, this kind of financial support they can get from government. And this process took like 12 weeks, I believe. And afterwards, there weren't like this kind of discussions, because they created this online platform within which everyone can actually look and acquire access to it. And also, there are now happening like this kind of meetings in France to actually discuss about their own ideas of creating this kind of enterprise or new way of seeing things, and they can actually share their ideas, and it's very like beneficial for younger generation, and not only because people who are like changing their jobs also like acquire necessary skills and
Sure.
have this kind of perspective what they can do to help society and the world, and also have like decent jobs that can
Sure.
give them money. Yes.
Sure. Thank you so much. Thanks to all of you. I think we're running out of time, aren't we? Yeah, I think now it's time to sum up somehow, right? Okay, I think my job is quite done right now. Thank you so much for cooperation. Very nice. Thank you. Last 45 minutes.
Yeah, you got it. She's fixing Rocio there.
We need to have some energy here.
Yeah, they all came like tired today.
So 5 rounds and we're good to go.
Yes, I'll bring it. So, how do you want to start? Do you want to present it, or do you want directly people to start commenting?
Yes.
Commenting?
What should be the output of our work? Like bullet points or the sentence?
So now you're the facilitators. You shouldn't do much more than facilitate the discussion. You're the ones working the most, but by adding the new things that are coming in 2025 to the documents that you have already agreed on. Okay? So have you seen the documents? Have you added some other things? Not yet?
For example, in other persons, I made 12 like points, but not bullet points, but the sentences like in the General Assembly of UN.
Okay, so let's start with that while they work on adding things, and then we can close these 3 documents up. Because on young people, I don't know if you thought of adding connotations or impacts of older persons and migrants. I mean, young people are also migrating and are also refugees and may grow old one day. So, do we have something prepared for that?
Do you want to
You'll
be
need
connected?
this.
Yeah, but you need also this. Czekaj.
So
You have like 5-6 minutes each, and then we move.
To summarize everything in 6 minutes, each of us. Okay.
5-6. I mean, it's going to be definitely easier for Sofia. Like the last.
Could you raise your hand? 5 minutes up.
Yeah. Okay. Stanis, you're up.
yeah.
The floor is yours.
So yesterday we discussed the advocacy plans, the objectives, messages, and timelines. And after the advocacy plan, here is like a short version. I've prepared 12 points that would seem a little bit similar to the points the General Assembly made about older person. They made 69 points last year, so I thought maybe some of these points could like be imprinted into the General Assembly this year, something. So my question is to read the points and give your opinion about what do you think, what would you like to change. It's at the end of the document.
Just remember to think if you see fit, there's 5 or 6 ideas, even if you have more. I mean,
So what's like the idea? We should find these topics.
implications to your text
Implication.
or impacts to your text. Do you find some?
For sure, because it's general points. For example, first point, promotion the value of older person in society and fighting the harmful stereotype of portraying older people as passive recipients of the care and not giving that value to the society. So it's like changing the idea of care, that if we put care into older people, we'll get something in return. It's not a passive care. It's not that we care for them and they don't give us anything, because if they will be in better health, they can be more involved in the society, and we can benefit from their work more. Yeah. So that's the first point of fighting with the stereotype. Second point is educational opportunities for them. Those are the points that we discussed yesterday, so I think we don't need to discuss them again. Decent jobs. One of the points is related with decent jobs. It's to create and demand from companies jobs tailored for older people, similar like we have today in Poland with disabled people, that country is paying some of the remuneration of these people. So we can do similar things with older people that wants to be still involved in the working market. I think gender equality is less important in relation to other people. I think you agree.
1 minute.
Yeah, 1 minute. But
unless that's it.
I'm waiting for comments. If not, I think the points that I prepared are fine.
So we move over to Cassie.
The floor is yours.
Okay.
Okay,
Do you want-
I can go next.
Oh, you take over.
Do you want this?
Do we need it? Do we need to share on the screen?
Everybody has it. Okay, I think we're good. I think we're
I
good.
can change to
Okay,
you.
so we need somehow to address these words into our advocacy plan about youth integration, right? That's the plan, or?
Yeah, I mean, when you were discussing that as well, you had another word that is education. It's some kind of training for you. So you mentioned it many times.
Yes, yes.
So I mean, training usually is informal education. It's not kind of a formal education from grammar school, middle school, high school, and training later on is kind of that access of real needs to the job market, right?
Okay.
So I don't know, I mean, you can use those, but you can come up.
I thought that this is something that we need to use. Okay. So what we have more cooperation between schools and employers, going to have more of decent jobs. We have some changes in curriculum into more supportive for youth. We have some changes in labor law and also education, indeed. Also, we have some better adjustments between students and labor market. And I think that's all. Anybody? Anything else? Oh, okay. Do you have a microphone? So you want to add something, right?
And I want to add that we need some programs to eliminate the roots of also illegal migration. When it comes to market, it would be very beneficiary for these root countries to encourage some the participation in the normal world and there help them eradicate the internal problems. Because only this leads to migration in some welfare countries like Europe or Asia, from the poorest to the richest. And this may be a win-win situation just by eradication of always illegal immigration and dealing with our flows of migrants. And this will contribute to the development for the future. I conducted a study in this 3 years ago, and I had as a result that Visegrad Group or some European countries were doing several programs in the Middle East that helped eradicate this migration, and even collaboration with their countries to help with the networks of embassies and any immigration posts to help the migrants with legalizing their stay.
Doesn't it apply more to the migration topic? Doesn't it apply
migration.
more?
More migration.
Okay, Kasia, so now it's your turn. If you're ready. Oh, sorry.
I want to add something. First, I think if we are speaking about action that's gonna be pursued by the governments, and from like this top point, we should remove the point of give a motivation to students, because first of all, how government can motivate people, it's like students to going to work, and second, we speaking about making new opportunities. And if we also have to motivate people to work, I think this is a big misconception. In second point, we have more money from the government to set up good initiative to help finance it. And if we look at it from the economic perspective, especially from Sava's law, every time when there is a high financing from the government in terms of the activities that can be pursued by, for example, by NGOs and private foundation, they are not only less effective by from 40% to even in some cases in United States to 60% less effective in terms of spending money, but they are also take space on the market in terms of these new initiatives. What they in real fact at the end of the day, they're killing options for many good programs than creating new opportunities. So maybe changing it for creating a new, easier, less bureaucratic law and environment for NGOs to work and to establish new projects than just doing a helicopter money on the universities and on the student projects.
Okay, thank you for that. Can you add like maybe in a nutshell like what you meant here in the first point? Could you make it? No. In the first point, I meant the objectives.
But can we remove that on giving motivation to students?
Yeah. Okay. Everybody's agree? Okay, we can do that.
So we're not motivated.
We just need to find it in ourselves. Okay, so now Kasia.
My topic was about immigration, and yesterday we did a brainstorming session, and we have a lot of conclusions. So first of all, we mentioned that it's important to talk about fertility. When it comes to fertility and immigration, countries with low fertility rates rely on immigration to sustain their population size. Also, immigrants can fill gaps in labor market, like sectors in healthcare, construction, even agriculture. Also, immigrants' families often have higher fertility rates than native populations, which contributes to the population growth. Like, for example, we see it in Canada. For example, in Canada, they have a policy that attracts especially younger people. And in Germany and France, they use immigrants to address these labor shortages. So this is what we are seeing. When it comes to AI, many countries started using AI to attract top global talents. So a lot of people that are actually skilled in their fields. Also, immigrant entrepreneurs have been very important to the tech industry, which we see in many countries. AI also can be used to create personalized learning experiences for immigrants, whether it's like learning new language, talking about new customs. They can create chats, so every single person can have similar experience instead of just like hiring people and spending money. I mean, they will be spending money at the beginning when developing the system, but later on it's going to pay off. And AI tools can analyze public sentiment and social media trends regarding immigration. So this will give the government the feedback to see whether the care that they're giving or the policies that they're introducing or the programs that they're introducing are working. Then another topic is about care. When it comes to care, in many countries, immigrants make up a significant portion of the workforce in healthcare, in elder care, in childcare. So they are filling the gaps in the workforce. Also, immigrants, usually immigrant workers in the care sectors contribute to the economy by paying taxes. So this will also help the country. What also governments need to do is to consider immigration policies that support the recruitment of care workers from abroad. And we talked about it yesterday, how important it is to transfer their skills to their diplomas to the different country when they come. So it's easier for them to get visa, so it's easier for them to process all the documentations. And for example, we see in the US where immigrant workers are crucial, especially in the elder care systems and in the healthcare system. So these are the topics these are the things that we concluded yesterday that relate to the topics that were mentioned. Yeah.
Do you think of another topic?
Again?
Do you think of another topic?
Another topic that we talked yesterday?
I mean,
That's not on the board yet.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that might be relevant.
That might be relevant.
I mean, I know that I mentioned climate change, but maybe there's another thing.
Mm-hmm. Maybe when it comes to housing in cities, like that's on the board as well.
Urban development.
Yes, urban development, we will see too.
I mean, in your discussion, you have many of those access to housing for migrants, right?
Yes. So the government creating, yes, building and putting immigrants there.
Okay. So now, since they three have spoken mostly, now we can move to you guys. You have some final comments or additions on the three texts.
Everything was said, I guess.
Who will start?
Yeah, so I guess
That's round of all of you.
so I guess we've pretty much talked very deeply into all of the texts, and I'm pretty satisfied with what we've come up If I would say anything on my opinion, that maybe we should focus what was particularly perhaps visible on the topic of youth integration, but also others, to focus perhaps not only on adapting the society around given groups, but also the groups themselves, which where perhaps adapting societies around them may be more important, but is not, in my opinion, the only issue, the only way of helping things we should be concerned about.
Thank you.
I think when it comes to migrant integrational advocacy plans, we should put more focus on less privileged migrant groups with worse socio-economical background, because for them, for those groups, it's way more difficult to integrate into society. Like for my experience, because I'm working legally with migrants group, for these highly educated, highly qualified employees, there are many programs, they are supported from employers, so they make it easier to bring their family together, so they're paying for their flats, and they give them all the support. But when it comes to refugees, always less privileged groups, it's way more difficult and they need more support. So I think we should put more focus on those groups rather than making general statement, because of course we cannot be specific when it comes to UN, but we need to address and tackle real problems, because what we need is inclusion, integration, and not creation of more divided societies. That's my opinion.
How will we do that?
Of course, it's very difficult. I think in Poland, like all integrational effort is based on few NGOs. There is no migrational policy, or it's very prejudiced on supporting more privileged groups. But it's also very difficult to get permits. For certain groups, there are laws, for example, like from people from Georgia, Moldavia, Ukraine, Belarus, they receive easier way to legalize their stay in Poland. But for other groups, it's very difficult. It's very time-consuming, even like up to 3 years to receive permit, and you cannot go abroad to visit your family, so sometimes it's just one person. So like bigger firms, they help migrants to bring their families, but for certain groups it's very difficult. And I think like the most difficult is for refugees or people seeking protection in Poland, because the procedure is also long, and people who are placed in facilities for foreigners, closed or open, because there are two types of facilities. We even have so-called family closed facilities, family detentions. So it's really devastating when you visit such place and you see a mother with children, and it looks like prison, because de facto it's prison. So we should focus, of course, on these basic human rights, right to asylum. It needs to be protected, and we need to address governments to respect this law, because it's international obligation for non-refoulement as well. and sometimes it's just used in these political narratives to create more divided society, these narratives of hate or threats to our society. So it's very challenging, and I saw cases that a person who actually received protection, but then she was left alone, and she couldn't receive any support from government. So there are non-governmental organizations, but they cannot do the whole job by themselves.
Yes. Also, I would say to solve this, not solve this problem, but to manage this problem, it's about international collaboration. I think that this is a matter of an international problem, and all the countries should work all together to manage this. Also, to establish a real order of action, like there is not like an established order. So to have like different stages or ways of managing these things, not letting the companies, the migrant companies and legal companies to do this. Like I think there should be an order. And also to be able to just classify, address every kind of problem, take into account that there are persons that have necessities, and that's all. Yes.
Thank you. Just to put together these two interventions, what would you say? I know that from the Polish perspective, you don't have that variety of migrants. I mean, maybe as you said, like Ukrainians, Belarusians, and maybe some others. But what is your experience with Spain? That you get so many different types of migrants, Africa and everything else. So what is the process of integration? Because as Alexandra was saying, also you can have some stigmas of these young migrants from Africa or Ukraine are taking youth jobs from the country. Are they really taking, or the young guys from the country don't want to work, as we saw 2 days ago in the OECD report? And the other one is, are these migrants filling in a lot of care responsibilities of the destination country? I mean, I don't know if you can shed some light in the situation in Spain.
I don't think that young people think that they are taking out our jobs, because it's not so much like that. Like they have real, like specific kind of jobs that they are more into, and not the jobs that are demanded right now in Spain. Also, I think that
Is that also a problem for protecting migrants? They give them a proper future. The type of jobs. Maybe they're not decent.
Yes, it might be a problem now, because they are taking like little jobs, like more specific, like they are kind of the same. And I think that for them, they decrease in the number of opportunities, and more, I think that the older ones, because the young ones, I think that, the legal ones, they are having like a good protection from here. They are having education opportunities. They have I think that they have a good social integration, and that now in the case of Spain, we are getting used to all this giant wave of people. But also I think that we should control more all the people is coming and help them in different ways. But for example, there are ways that we are not managing in a good way. For example, lots of Africans in Spain, they come to Spain because if you're a migrant, they give you a specific money each month and a house to stay, which it sounds good because you are giving them a good assistance and a good welcome, but lots of them come because they don't have to work. So there are lots of young people which won't have opportunities in the future because as they are migrants, Spain will give them money and a place too. So I think that we should revert that and give them opportunities, give them a house, but also make the I don't know, the move to integrate them well in the job space.
So that goes to a question with Cassie. What is the timeline? Like, 6 months, you know where you're out. Where?
Yeah,
I mean, this is an example, but
Yes.
are you, what kinds of opportunities to practice? I mean,
Okay, I think it depends because you can't give 6 months to a young a boy who hasn't had an education. You know, like it wouldn't be fair.
or you don't know what you know.
So, for example, one thing we see is that they don't have like the same education as us and the same possibilities. So, it's like to concrete in every person that comes. It's difficult, but it's not impossible.
Yeah, the question is like, is those people don't want to work, or they don't they don't receive enough support to find job? Because I can say from my experience working with people seeking protection in Poland, and I visited many facilities for foreigners and talked with people from Africa, like Ethiopia, Somalia, and other countries. And the problem is language barrier. In Poland, it's very difficult to find proper solution, a proper job, and for time procedure for 6 months, they are not legally allowed to work. And the other problem is that usually they cannot afford to rent a house because they don't have enough money, or there are difficulty to find someone who actually write a contract with them. And if they staying in these facilities, which are like 1 hour away from the main city, which is Warsaw, so how can they be active in the job market if they live so far? And location, and they of course can do like Uber jobs, but it's very difficult when it comes to location. So this also needs to be reconsidered, how to manage it. And I think it's just the job of the government.
Then I was gonna do that. Is that the job of the government? One thing that you both mentioned, the motivation. We go. I mean, you can. But is the I mean, they come with either two motivations: work, if they have a future in sight. If they're given really small jobs, it might be a struggle to see that future. And the other type of migrant is like, give me everything because you're rich, and I'm not educated as you. What would you say?
But you are saying that. But you are saying that we should make a campaign to motivate migrants to apply for job, because I maybe not understand your point.
What would you do with that situation?
With situation, we have two types of migrants: ones who won't get a job and ones who don't want to get a job because they want like get a social security only. Very simple. Everybody who won't get a job in Poland are very welcome. But if you only want to take a social security, you know, on the west is border with Germany, and they have higher social security in Germany, so you can go there.
But you have to accept, you have to give them representation. I mean, that's the real issue of Europe.
Can you repeat, please?
Migrants, in many ways, they don't see or have that image of Europe that if you work, it's okay, you receive a lot of benefits, cash transfers and anything. I mean, I know that many sectors of the population
work hard, they save, they invest, they get what they want for them. But especially for migrants, without any near future or hope, all you do.
For migrants who have no future and no hope.
If they see, I mean, they just cross the ocean.
Yes. And if they want work, they are very welcome, and there is a lot of places to work, from the easy work on construction, from the high IT jobs, from whatever are your education. And if you only want to work, it's really easy. Not very easy, but there is a place to work. So if you want get a job in Poland, it is possible, and you are welcome here to get a job. Not, I don't understand the issue, and the question was proceed to me.
Maybe she does. Juliet does.
Okay, so just to clear up, I think that actually when it comes to finding a job, you have to have like a motivation, a vision, what is going to actually happen afterwards. Yes, and we actually, I don't know if you want to say something? No, okay. So I don't know if actually, okay. If we are not actually using the potential of internet and actually online platforms, because there are a lot of courses online that we can actually learn from, and when it comes to language barrier, as has been said, there is like the opportunity to actually encourage governments of a given country to create these platforms in different languages that will be suitable for migrants and refugees that will come from the border. And also when it comes to this kind of inner willingness, we can't force them, because that creates the counter effect actually, and isn't the best way to move forward. But when we actually show them the opportunities, show them the platforms, and make them like maybe ask this important question about what they want to do with this life, and what they want to how they want to contribute to the society, is like the key element that will drive them forward and give them this kind of hope that there is something on the other side, and they can actually, using these opportunities that are given from government, they can actually create this kind of small change, and maybe not only gain money, that is the key goal here, and housing and all of that, but also this kind of actually knowledge that this is important for the society, and this kind of sense of the whole process of reintegration and coming to a different country, facing these difficulties, obstacles on the way, but that there is like this kind of something more, that they can actually have this bigger vision. So we can't force it as on the government level, but that this kind of online platforms, because as actually about the location, that migrants might find themselves like isolated from the world. So maybe this kind of giving them this access to internet might actually help them reach out to other people, and to reach out what is actually possible there, and this kind of knowledge, courses and all of that. So that's like just to add.
Last round, like you,
Two sentences.
Anastasia, you had something later? After?
6 minutes left.
Mati, maybe you want to wrap up with something from the audience? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Anastasia, we move back to you, and last words, 1 minute.
Yeah, I think we cannot search for perfect, ideal solutions, because it won't happen. And the world is different with all these complexities, and the same is with migrants. Some want to work and they are highly motivated, and the other, they might not be that motivated because of many different reasons. For example, trauma, like many people who run away from their home countries, they suffer from PTSD, which might cause also many problems to integrate, to find this motivation. So of course it's very difficult, so we cannot generalize the statements. Of course, create opportunities, give them motivation and show solutions, but we shouldn't search for perfect solutions.
As the colleagues have said, we can't generalize or simplify or lean on our national stereotypes that most nations have or discriminate because we have bad relationships with some countries to some extent. And which makes a problem for some really good people who are really there strive to have a better life in some countries like Europe, where they escaped from the difficulties or whatever else. They need some serious support in installing themselves in a new country, like not only online 20 to 24 hours available support, without any minimal need of visiting offices and landing to the bureaucracy. Instead, we should still provide some digital services with all standards of accessibility for them. And secondly, we should still make something to prevent economic migrants who still are going for employment from turning into rubbish contracts or anything without any social care, social security. When I was working at the Polish Court of Appeal, I had multiple cases from migrants working in some developed countries like Germany or Netherlands, who had problems when they didn't know which company were exactly working for, and the company didn't pay any security, any taxes for them. So it was impossible to do a transfer from Germany to Poland and ensure these European Union security systems, which is really strange, because this and sometimes degrading for people who invested the best in order to get downgraded jobs, and still should be done by some encouraging, for example, contracts drafted with the best legal practices or whatever else, and still doing some persecution to that cases.
Wait, you said that they didn't pay? Like the companies in Germany?
They didn't pay the security and provided misleading data to Polish zoos, and these contracts concluded with them stated that they were not actually working with which company were they working. By the bank, and another company was a real employer. So we have such a problem.
Okay, I think we have 1 minute left.
Yeah, do you want to?
I think when it comes, for example, to AI, we have to be careful like how we use it and how we implement it in schools. This is a very important part, because we want to teach like teachers or like advisors how to do their work more efficiently, or how to even like how to help immigrants incorporate into classes, integrate into classes. But what would you else add when it comes to AI?
Trauma and stigma might not be treated well by AI.
Yeah, of course. That's why we need this human aspect. That's why we have to eliminate AI. Yes, because especially kids, they need the human aspect when they're growing up.
Or develop a little bit better.
Develop what?
AI.
Develop the AI.
Develop the AI to be more reasonable.
Yes, but for the use of people that are already old enough to use it. So the teachers, advisors, it can help with bureaucracy too, but it has to be people like...
Like the job market a little bit changes with AI. The jobs that were manual and not like evolving, growing, that can be replaced by AI, but the people can do something more interesting. For example, check after AI whether it's correct or not.
Yeah, true.
Okay, this,
Thank
as you see, this is only less than 10 people talking.
I have a feeling we just touched on the issue.
I guess
Yeah. Very deep.
I guess the main takeaway that is usually out of every workshop that we organize is that even among young guys, same age, somehow the same continent, you are struggling to agree.
Yes.
Imagine 193, 97 countries that they all have. I mean, you're taking my migrants, I'm getting them. So what are we? And there are many, many issues. So we always get from stakeholders the usual comment of, oh, things at the UN go slowly. And this is the reason. We haven't been able to agree on many things or grab all the all the angles in 3 days.
It's too complex.
Yeah, it's.
There are
So-
like 5 million factors that come. There's an argument and there are 5 million factors that we have to
Many.
consider.
Yeah. So that's for you to realize that this is an international level, and you can definitely do this in the national level, taking into account this. Even if Poland is, in these cases, maybe easier than in other places. They're not at the forefront of the borders of the European Union. They don't have such an elderly population like in other countries of the European Union. They have a lot of youth. Those young people work. I mean, Poland is now in a great place to be a working engine in the Union and in the world. But you have to identify what can work now. So, I don't know. Thank you so much for attending, and I hope this has been a learning experience. That's where, with IFFD, we put that family perspective into this mess. It's kind of another bomb, another variable, and that we kind of try to implement in countries that the family might be, in most of the cases, the solution to do this. I mean, migrants with their families, young guys with the support of their families, older persons not being alone, and so on. So thank you, and I think you deserve an applause.
Everybody.